Hey everyone. Today I wanted to talk about. First of all, here's a picture that I took. But today I really wanted to talk about the idea, the concept that in life we, you can't just do what you can't just do something. Let's say when you think about something, right? And in your mind, you have and you have a great idea. And when you have a great idea, it could be you could even have a talent. You could have the ability to think it and to see it, and to, right, imagine if you were an artist and you could just instantly see an image of something. But the problem is, imagine if you never learn how to draw, let's say. It doesn't matter how wondrous your images are, your imagery is. If you never take the time to learn how to translate those thoughts and ideas into something tangible and something that is real, then it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter how talented you are. You won't be able to. You won't be able to transcribe it, and so it's almost like it's a shame because it's almost like you're. It's almost like you have this ability, but you never learn how to use it. And so you risk just being a thinker and never actually doing or accomplishing what you set out to do, whatever it is that you're thinking. And so what I'm saying is, if you do, and so you might think, okay, well, just start doing it. But it's not that simple. Like, the hardest part is not doing it, like, because that's easy to do. Well, just start drawing. Yeah, but it's not that simple. It's not just about, you have to figure out how to do it. So the name of the game is not just playing the game, but figuring out how the game is played to begin with. And these are things that are not intuitive, and they're not really taught in books. They're not taught in school. School doesn't teach you how to build something. Generally speaking, school teaches you how to do things that someone else has built and programmed, but it doesn't teach you how to build an actual program, right? And most students, when they go to math, the teacher doesn't say, hey, make me a formula that's never been done before. They don't say that, right? Or make me a number system that's never been done before, right? That's not part of the mathematical curriculum. Not that it couldn't be, but, because math, as we know it, is about learning certain skills that are very important, that people of ancient times, figured out, and that are very useful, by the way, and I recommend it. Of course, I recommend math. But the thing is, you as a person, right, we don't teach people how to create, and yet how to make your own system on your own, and yet it is so critical to everything in life. It is so critical to becoming the person you're supposed to be, because to be successful, to be hugely successful, you could have in your mind the best idea. But if you cannot translate that into actions that make you into a successful sort of, into being able to actualize all of your ideas, then it's almost like those ideas don't exist, because nobody can see it. Nobody can see what's going on inside of you. And so how do you get that out, right? Imagine it's literally like inventing your own language. That's exactly what it is. You have to, and it's a slow process. It's not a quick process. Like taking your ideas, whether it's an idea about how you move physically, maybe it's a sport, maybe it's a dance move, or whether it's an idea of drawing an image, or whether it's a musical idea of notes, musical notes in your head, whatever it is, or anything creative, or just an invention in general, right? You could be a great inventor. You could come up with great concepts, right? For technologies, even for technologies that don't exist. But if you never take the time to learn how to actualize those ideas, then it doesn't matter. It's like it didn't happen. And the thing is, you could spend years, decades, not making much progress. If you don't know, I mean, on the one hand, you're going to have to dedicate time to it, but then on the other hand, you also have to you have to figure out how to learn it, how to do exactly what it is that you're doing. And then the question becomes, how do you do that? And the issue is, when you have ideas, you have to figure out how to turn them into reality. And at the beginning, it starts with just making a lot of mistakes and starting from the beginning, starting from scratch. And at first, you're probably going to be wrong about many things. You're probably going to be wrong about a lot of things. But you have to go through that wrongness to slowly correcting yourself so that over time you build up eventually by trial and error, I guess, you could just slowly start figuring out, okay, don't do this, don't do that, don't go here, don't go there, don't go up, don't go down under this table, right? This picture of a table that I took. Okay, you can see a little bit of dust there or whatever, right? So don't go, in your mind, that's one way of figuring it out. But the thing is, like, it still requires building the skills and a skill is not just one thing. Learning how to do anything, it's not just one thing. A skill is really the accumulation of hundreds of little mini tiny actions all put together, and that's what makes a skill. That if you're like a drummer, it's not just them banging on sticks, it's them holding it correctly. A drummer is listening, a drummer is holding their hands a certain way, a drummer is keeping the music in their head, they're doing things in certain areas. It's like 100, probably more. It could be hundreds of different little actions all happening at the same time. And of course, you have to learn it one by one. And this is the kind of thing that I'm trying to say, that if you are trying to learn how to do something, how to translate what you're thinking of and turn it into a reality, like you're going to have to figure out how to make this happen and start slowly going into that journey and become a master at it to the point where you're good at it, where you're good at it, where you can demonstrably show that you are achieving a skill and you did it in a slow manner. And unfortunately, a lot of times in our culture, they'll have something like sports. And I'll be honest with you, it's really not that hard. Like, it's very easy to learn something like tennis, because even though, yes, there are a lot of technicalities to it, but, it's something physical, right? It's something that you can see immediately and you get feedback. But I mean, how do you teach someone how to draw? It's not quite as easy to see, like, hand placement, right? It's not as easy to see, where the ideas come from, or like there are certain things in life, particularly when it comes to ideas, where it's not so apparent how it even happens. And that's really what I'm talking. That's the most challenging part about learning something. So, when we're trying to figure out, like, what exactly do you need to do to become sort of knowledgeable? Okay, these are pictures I took. Yeah, so to become knowledgeable, what do you need to do to make, because you risk, if you don't take action and see and begin dedicating a lot of time to doing this, if you don't, you will spend years with amazing thoughts and perhaps even amazing ability, amazing potentiality within you, inside of you, and you can feel it, but you will never accomplish it because you didn't take the time, because you didn't figure it out. And so this video is really about saying that when you have an idea, attempt to do something extraordinary and build your own system, build your own set of formulas, invent. The inventor is part of the creator, is part of creating things, of creating art, of creating whatever it is, the new dance form, whatever it is. And so you take that on, like you're going to have to take on that challenge. And I think a lot of people will be amazed at what you can accomplish. You can do things that nobody has ever done before. You can do things that nobody has ever thought of trying. You can do things that people are going to look at you and say, how is that possible? But it's because you built the system and you understand that system. And this is, so many people have done it. And believe it or not, there are easy and hard ways to do this. And oftentimes in our society, we confuse sort of talent with things that are already made, right? Like golf is a game that's already invented. And so it's kind of easy to just follow along, right? And become good at golf. But the thing is, that's already something that's been done. And I feel like sometimes people forget that there's more to life than just what is already there. But creating and becoming sort of a master at, or an expert at whatever it is that you want to do is oftentimes, it doesn't have to be just something that's already been made by someone else, but something that you yourself have come up with. And in the case of many things, like drawing or the arts or even thinking, a lot of it is about figuring it out and finding your way of accomplishing this. And so, if you want to hear more, thank you for being here. I appreciate it, and thank you for being watching this video.